This is a different shape when it's halfway underwater, isn't it? It looks much bigger and rounder. Oh well. Oh, that's my hair floating around. I wondered what that brown stuff was. I'm in the hot tub. I've just been floating around with the current. It's a salt water tub, you know. Ooh, that's a good current right back there. It's a little loud in my ears. It's really nice in here. It's so hot. This morning, oh, good morning, Willem. Nice to see you. I love you, darling. Anyway, this morning I swam in the pool. The pool is over there. And it is quite warm. Oh, there goes the bubbles. No more floating around in circles. But there's a really hot jet behind me. That's really hot. I was trying to tighten all the muscles in my body as I swam before. You know, tighten your core and your butt muscles and your legs and pull your feet backwards. It's kind of hard to swim like that though. But you know what? I did flips in the water. You know how you spin your arms around to the side to make you go one way and then you spin them back the other way to make you go the other way? I curled up in a ball and I did that and I did flips. Isn't that cool? Even though I look like I'm 70, I can still do stuff. I have these red glasses that I've been wearing, which are 325 strength, so I can really see things. And my goodness, I get near the mirror, I had no idea that there are a million wrinkles. When I see my face, it looks quite smooth. See, doesn't it look young and smooth? Not that young is good. Young is kind of not good because you're inexperienced when you're young. You don't have the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge and a lot of experience. I'm really grateful for all my experiences. I'm grateful for my life. I've not been a career woman. I've not accomplished money and success and all that, but I've really loved my life. I guess I've been grateful for it. And when I'm grateful, I'm happy. And this pool is amazing. But you know, Vancouver isn't so great. I mean, Vancouver perhaps is warmer, but look at that sky. You know, every day we've been here, it's been a really cloudy sky and fog and drizzle and rain and snow even. In the afternoons, it generally clears up, but it's not a really wonderful blue sky day. Sometimes it's still quite cloudy. And, you know, if you don't like clouds, if you want sun, Vancouver is not the place to go. Vancouver does not have a whole lot of winter sun, as far as I can tell. But I'm only seeing one part. I'm right on the edge of the bay. Perhaps if you're somewhere else in the area, you know, I can only tell you about my little tiny experience. Also, the restaurants downtown are, I don't know what they cost in Ottawa, but they are so high priced here. You know, you can't get a main course for less than $50. And if, you know, even your appetizers can be a minimum of $30. So maybe that's the way it is in all big cities downtown. But all I could think about was that tain't this way at home, out in the woods, little town. Couldn't afford to eat in those places. But if you wanted to be a waitress and make a lot of money, this is definitely a good place. But then you see you have to still pay a lot more for your accommodations. So I don't know. I think it evens out, but it's a world away from making grass huts. A world away from sitting in front of the stream. Oh, speaking about the stream, yesterday I saw a video where somebody was making a water wheel for their stream to create their power. I thought that was so cool. I don't really care about creating power, but wouldn't it be fun if I could have like, oops, it says low power mode. Darn, how low is it? Well, I can't tell, but if it goes away, you know, you can do this at home. Results may differ, and you saw it here last. Till you watch the next video, and then you saw next to last. Oh, there's somebody there. How many? 2 people are there. No thumbs ups yet. Oh well. I love being here. I love my life. I'm getting it down to a science, this going to the hot tub while it's raining in the cold rain. I guess it's plus 10 today, which is 10 plus 10 is 20 plus 32. That's 52. So I guess it's not that cold, but the ground, like when you walk out of here, they've got these, well, look at that. It's brick, and that is quite cold. And also, even the mats, they do have some drainage mats on the walkways. But your feet are pretty cold if you walk on it barefoot. And if you put your feet in your shoes, you really wreck your dry shoes. Well, but you can dry them. Like I dried my shoes yesterday and they were still nice and supple today. They're moccasins. So country girl visits the city. Very different. We went out to eat last night with my daughter-in-law and her co-workers, and it was the most wonderful time. It was great to hear everybody's stories and listen to people. And they were new people, so when people are new, they tell you their stories. But when you've known them all your life, or all their, like I met my daughter-in-law when she was 16. That was many years ago. And you don't learn all these things and hear all of the experiences of what it was like going to her mother-in-law's for the first time. Somewhere up there through that dense fog or cloud, it's a helicopter. No idea where. When I went to San Francisco, I did not like the fog. The fog was not a happy thing for me. It was dark and gloomy, and it rolled in, and suddenly it enveloped you. I guess it's an experience. Interesting experience, eh? We are the product of our experiences, And if you haven't had very many, you've had the product, when you're young and a teenager, you're the product of the experiences that you've had in your family home and school. But those are a whole lot different kinds of experiences than the ones you get later. And all the challenges that we go through, we have a lot of challenges in life. So important to be grateful. So important to be grateful for right now. Because right now, you've got it. You don't have what's 10 minutes away or what's a half an hour ago. But, last night we went to this thing. It was yesterday afternoon, I guess. It was Fly Over Canada. And I thought, yeah. But I went in there, and my gosh, when we were all in a long row with big metal arm things, like the swimming pool things, those things, they were shaped just a little differently, but you could hold on to the front of them to the curve in it. And you were seatbelted in between them, and your luggage was securely stored, your purse and coat or whatever, umbrella. It was all securely stowed under the seat. And then the floor dropped out. The sidewalk and gate and the floor, and it all just went away. And suddenly you were high up above the earth, looking down. I think the first thing that happened is we went through clouds. And then after the clouds, which we felt the mist of on our faces, they had actual mist that touched us. And you flew through the wet cloud, and there was nothing in front of you. There was no pilot and front of the airplane. You were just right in front with everybody else. Some people were clapping and laughing and different things, according to the experiences we were having. And we flew over all of the landforms of Canada, and it was so wonderful. And we had a daredevil pilot, I must say. Like, we would go up one mountain, and it looked like we're going to crash into the top of the mountain, and then we would just veer up and go over it, and then suddenly there'd be nothing below, and it's like 1,000 feet down, and then we head down there before the next mountain, or we veer off and fly over horseback riders and pick up your feet because you think you're going to touch them on the head, and they're riding along. Or there'll be a kayaker, and you're fly over the kayaker and then over the rapids, and you're right in them, and the walls on the side are high walls of fir trees, like the black spruce fir trees of northern Canada. We didn't see a flock or a herd of caribou or anything, but we did go flying right down in a valley over a river, and the river was rushing, and the rapids, you could hear the rapids, and the sounds were loud, and the cliff walls covered with trees were beside you as we swooped in and all turned sideways to go, and our chair, the whole long chair, I guess it was tilting, and then the whole thing would come forward and go back, and so it was, your equilibrium was quite affected by the flight, and you really felt that you were there. And we swooped around in this river and over the rapids, and then twisted and came up out on the other side, and then came up out from the river and went over, one thing after another, mountains and cornfields and rivers and lakes and kayakers and rapid runners and horses and native peoples, traditional people in their long kayaks, and as you flew over quite close to their heads, you could hear the conversation, which was not in our language, not in my language. It was very real, and it was so powerful and was such a rush. I mean, the adrenaline flow, I couldn't believe it. And then we passed over Toronto, and we went right up to the CN Tower and just barely missed it. And then there was icebergs, and we went between the icebergs. That must have been Newfoundland when that happened. We went straight for the icebergs and then tilted sideways and went between the two. And the icebergs were big and white and jagged, and it was all, and I was thinking, why don't you go around? It'd be much safer to go around. And then there was a combine, and it was harvesting the corn, and the dust of chopped corn was billowing out through the top of it, and we flew right through it, and I thought that we would certainly smell the corn, get it in our noses, all this corn dust. And then there were lots of cornfields, and we kept going over fields right down on top of just between the rows. We were just above the corn. And then we went across, I guess we must have gone across Montreal, and then across, we finally came to Vancouver. Oh, the hot tub is amazing. Yes, it's amazing. It's like 95 degrees or 99 degrees. It's quite hot. It's really wonderful. It's so good. And with the jets on, you can just, if there's nobody else in the pool, and you just float on the water. I used to be able to float, but then I lost 80 pounds and I can't float very much anymore. But when I float on the water, it spins you all around because the jets are so powerful. And the hot, there's one beneath me that's hot, but it's not coming out as hot anymore. But if I want to turn the hot thing on, I have to get out of the pool and go over there and push the button. My feet could get cold, But I could do it. Would you like me to do it? Put a thumbs up if you want me to do it. I'll wait and see if any more. There's 2 there. So if there's another thumbs up, I'll get up and I'll turn on the hot tub jets. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. It's so different than being at home, being here. I've been home for a few years, and I have my grass hut area, which is so awesome. It's my little world that I go to in my teepee, no matter what the weather, except if it's raining, it usually comes through. But you could hang umbrellas. one umbrella in the center and then umbrellas all the way around it to catch it, but they'd all have to be tilted the right way. Or perhaps you could take a tarp and connect the center of the tarp up. You could hang it up and then everything could be hung to the sides. I had a really good idea of something to do down there the other day, but I forget what it was. You have to write it down when you get old, because otherwise the memories just go right through. But you know, when I was 20 years younger and I was a travel writer, I would get all these ideas for articles I could write. And they would go away, so I started keeping a journal of them. You know, this tub is, still only have 2, so I guess nobody cared about the jets going on. That's good. So I'm just talking away, whatever comes to mind. I always have to write stuff down. Hi, I'm glad to see you there. I can't read the words. If I had on my red glasses, I could read the words, but then I would also see my wrinkles, and is it worth it? I don't know. You know, I always said it doesn't matter what I look like because I don't look in the mirror. But when you're out amongst a lot of people, I guess it does matter because people react to you according to what you look like, according to their judgments of what you should look like. And then you have no ability to learn from them or talk to them if they've rejected you because of what you look like. Then you have to regain them back. Now that sounds like an airplane. I have this app called Flight something. And you can look at it and it will show you can hear an airplane overhead and you can tap on that airplane above your location and it will tell you all the details about it, where it's from, what kind it is, where it's the flight path. You can see the whole path between whatever, you know, the ones that go over my house, they generally are going like from, I don't know, Toronto to Frankfurt or Ottawa to, a lot of Ottawa to Toronto. But also you see ones that are not low, that are up high, and they're going to Europe. Sometimes they're going up to Gaspé or to Gander, Newfoundland. Sometimes they refuel up there, and it's shorter to go across the top of the earth over Iceland. So whenever you fly to Europe, you go over Greenland and Iceland. And if it's not cloudy, that would be so interesting to see now because it's all changed. It was all snow, and now they have gardens now. They can farm. That's amazing. I guess they have to bring in farm equipment. But they can actually grow their own food now. You know, I brought in some of my big trays. They have a reservoir under them. I brought them in and put them upstairs in the sunlight or where there's lots of windows. And I put some of those daylight lights, the sunlights in above them. So when I turn it on, they get sunshine. And those leaves, they grew from like 5 inches to 1.5 feet. Unbelievable how things are growing when you bring them in the house. But you know, I could even plant other things now. I could plant kale or something, or especially romaine. Romaine is very quick to grow. I should just sprinkle some seeds here and there in those pots and have romaine lettuce growing. I like Bibb lettuce too. Bibb is a good kind. And I don't remember the other kind. Boy, I've been in here a while. I came down at 8 and I swam in the pool until about 9, I think. Or maybe I came at 8:30 and swam till 9:15 or something like that. I did laps and it was warm. When you put your toe in the water and it's warm, you know it's going to be a good swim. It wasn't really, really warm. Like, it was a little cool at times, but it wasn't much to worry about. Not like swimming in the lakes in the summer. The summer lakes here are very, very cold. Sometimes they warm up, but only for a little while. And then the steam goes up, and then it disappears, and you've lost your heat. I should probably go back up. My grandson woke up at 8. I heard noises, and so he's probably well and truly up by now. So I should probably go up and hang out with him. You know what he did yesterday? He put his legs into the top of a pillow. I squished the pillow down because it was feather. And so he could scoot his legs all the way down in this very long pillowcase. And then he held them up in the air so there's this big flat white pillow over the bed. And I threw a pillow at it and he whumped it down. It was so funny. It was so funny. I have to ask permission to upload a short I made of it. There's a little tiny spot where you can see his face when the pillow comes down before it goes back up. And there's this little spot where you can see his face, and I know his family doesn't want him online at all, but my goodness, that would be such an awesome video. I imagine it would go viral. It's only like, there's only about 3 seconds in it. That's amazing. It was really good. So I chopped everything else off, so it was only, maybe it was 5 seconds. Anyway, I have to ask permission. I can't just put it up. And they'll probably say no. That's all right. Maybe I could chop it out right until you see his face. Just chop out his face. I could get him to do it, but I could hide his face. I could have a towel over his face so he couldn't see his face, and then I could film it. Wouldn't that be fun? It was so much fun. It's fun playing with a 5-year-old, you know? They're so creative with their ideas. They keep changing their ideas, and I'm, of course, also pretty creative with my ideas too. So, you know, I decided that when a pillow lands on the floor, it has to go in the desk chair, which is positioned between the 2 bedroom doors, between one room and the other room doors. And so I put it there facing us, and then it would have to go stacked up on there. And then when it gets to have all the pillows on it, we have 4 pillows plus my little tiny feather pillow I use. So then it has to be spun around and dumped into the other room. And so he's really gotten into that, the turning it around and dumping it in, and he even pushed it into the other room and then there's a big bump that it has to go across. But he pushed it in and then back. Hey, my fingernails cleaned up. I had picked blueberries out of his blueberry pancake yesterday. Most of the food here is breads of different varieties with sugars and flavors and meats, and I haven't had any fruit for a while. I don't drink fruit juice because I think it's too much. I don't want to get my calories through juice. But so I ate the blueberries out of his blueberry pancakes, and so when I dipped my fingernails in to get them out, they stayed blue all day, along with my mouth. Oh well. I think I'm gonna get some fruit and have it in the room. I would like to do that. I'd like to go to a grocery store and stock up with all kinds of fruit. And I also miss having my romaine lettuce dipped in hummus. I dip the butt end of it into the hummus, and so you get about that much hummus on it, and then I fold it over so you get about inch wide layers, and you just roll it all the way up and then fold the stuff to the inside and then pop it in your mouth. It's the best. I think that restaurants should sell that. Romaine and hummus with a toothpick through it. But I don't want to open a restaurant. Should I give my idea away? Oops, I just did. There was also something at have you ever made licorice? Do you know how to make licorice? I got some licorice root, and I wondered about making licorice with honey. And honey doesn't do to my body what sugar does. And it's very antioxidant and antibacterial and antiviral and all kinds of excellent things. But there was this person that was selling a drink. It was a concentrate of ginger and turmeric and lemon and orange with black pepper and cayenne pepper. Write that down. But anyway, you could make a whole bunch of it and keep it in the fridge and then add it, or you could keep most of it frozen and just pour some of it in a cup, you know, just a little bit in the bottom of a cup, and then fill the cup with water and drink it. And that would be a lovely, tasty drink, and it would be very good for you. I'm always enjoying these. Like, I have my elderberry oxymel. I brought a water bottle of it with me. So I'm down to just the last cup of it. I have just a little bit. I'll be able to pour in my cup and fill it with water and drink it. But you know, that's packed with vitamin C. And when the menu does not really include fruits or vegetables, they're kind of up the creek without any citrus. I like all those vitamins. Oh, and we went to this place. It was a Lebanese restaurant downtown. Had four-letter name that ended in O. It was something like Roku or Koku or anyway, it's a four-letter name, and it was wonderful food. It was really good. We got the Fiesta. We were going to get all kinds of other things, but by the time the Fiesta came and we realized how humongous it was, nobody had any interest in a main course. But they brought the sauces, like the hummus and the baba ganoush, first with pita bread, and so everybody filled up on pita bread, and then they were going to take that away and bring the other one, which is all the stuff you wanted to dip in it. I didn't think that should be done. You should ask that they were all brought together. So they had these big, huge cauliflower florets, and you could dip them in the hummus, right, if you had it. And there was also some winter squash, my favorite kind of winter squash, with the peel on it. And it was also mashed up with other stuff, like chickpeas, I think. Another low battery thing. I guess I'm going to end up going. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. Oh, well, we never do anything until 11 or after. It's waking up and having breakfast time. But I had a really good swim today. That was so good for me. And then a really good float around in this pool. And there's your update now. So now we're back online, back together. I really like hanging out with you guys, and I'm trying to I can go to Studio and find all the comments that I haven't answered to. And then I can look for the ones that ask questions and answer the ones that ask questions. You know, like 7 years ago, somebody wanted to know something. I could never really figure out how to answer the questions without going into each video and seeing if there were new comments. And so it might say 3 comments, but I might have commented twice to 1 comment or something, right? So it's really good to be able to sort that. And you can sort it, haven't responded, and then people who have great amounts of followers or little amounts of followers, and there's about 6 different categories. So I usually do to the ones I haven't responded to and the ones with questions. Somebody asked me this morning if you could make he's up there somewhere. Somebody asked me, I think this is going to turn off. So if it does, goodbye. It's been lovely. But anyway, if it doesn't turn off, I'll just keep talking. So somebody asked me if you could make an Adirondack basket. That's a very loud helicopter, isn't it? If you could make an Adirondack basket out of cattails. So now I'm curious. You'd have to twist the cattails. You couldn't just lay them flat like when you make a bottle cover, but you'd have to use a mold. And I was thinking a good mold would be a pillow that you have tied a little bit in one area. Or you could like make a paper mache mold. You could use a balloon that you've tied a little bit in the middle or a little up from the middle. But you do need a mold. Well, I guess I should go. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your 3 thumbs ups. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe, as they say. I don't think people subscribe to me. I think there are some unsubscribing. I think I lost 6 people the other day probably because I'm uploading so many videos, and if they get a notification every time, they don't really want to see it. And they might have subscribed because they wanted to make soap, and not all my videos are about that. Or maybe they wanted cooking videos and they're not all cooking, or maybe whatever it is, When I went to Holland, I made 400 videos from Holland. So yesterday I made a playlist, and I put the new Vancouver movies in the playlist. I don't know what you see when you go to my page. I don't know if you see, you see the same old zucchini with meatballs in the middle of it. You know, I once went through and I took all these really high seeing videos that I didn't think were very good. I put them on private or on unlisted so that other videos would come to the top, because there's a lot of better videos than some of the ones. Anyway, there I have it. You have it, chit-chatting away. Have a good day. Be the sunshine on rainy days. You got to do that, you know. You can't be part of the rainy day. You have to be the sunshine. It has to be, and you have to mentally make yourself do it. And you can make other people smile and make them happy, because they don't expect to see a happy, laughing face on a cloudy day, do they? And for those of you that watch every one of my videos, you know, that's really cool. I'm glad that whatever it is about me that you like, that it gives you something that you enjoy. That's really nice. I know I really love it when I find something on YouTube that I love, like Murdoch Mysteries, but that's not on YouTube. That was on Netflix. But it's all, there's death in it all, you know. You don't really want to see death and darkness. But the people are so great, and there's only a little bit, and I always look away when they show you the dead stuff. But I know how nice it is to find something that you like watching, and how lonely life can be when you're stuck at home. Oh my. Remember, you can do this at home. Results may differ.